Bonjour, Français 4. Aujourd'hui, on va parler des verbes irréguliers au subjonctif. Allons-y. Hey. Okay. Pour commencer, just reminding you, alright, the difference between when do I need the subjunctive versus when do I need an infinitive. Alright, so here we've got our example. Il faut que je parte. That's the subjunctive versus il faut partir, je dois partir. So remember the difference is we have this que. The que is introducing a new independent clause. Alright, it's necessary that I leave versus it's necessary to leave or I have to leave. See, I have two subjects. I have the il and then I have the je, whereas here I only have one subject. So just remember, we need this que to introduce a new subject in order to then use the subjunctive. We can use il faut in the negative plus the subjunctive to demonstrate some kind of prohibition or interdiction. Interdiction, what kind of word is that? Oy, took it from the book. Also, il n'est pas nécessaire que would also take the subjunctive. Then there are these expressions that again are sort of expressing this kind of negative things you don't have to do. Tu n'es pas obligé de, tu n'as pas besoin de, you don't need to. Tu n'as pas à, like all you have to do is. But notice these guys are followed by infinitives because there is no que. Okay, let's get into these crazy verb irréguliers. What we're going to talk about first are irregular stems. So basically the verb faire, it follows the pattern in the sense that it goes e, es, e, ions, iez, ent in the subjunctive, but the stem itself does not come from the il plural form. And it kind of makes sense because there is no ent to take off. So we've got faire becomes fasse, pouvoir becomes puisse, totally out of nowhere, and then savoir becomes sache. So here are some examples. Il faut que tu fasses les devoirs. It's necessary that you do your homework. Je préfère qu'elle puisse nager. I prefer that she is able to swim. And il est important que nous sachions la réponse. It's important that we know the answer. So again, the endings of my subjunctive are the same. It's just that that stem is totally different. It does not come from the il plural form. So those are all fine and dandy. But here come our exciting verbs. Verbs that have a different stem for the subjunctive in the nu and the vous form than every other form. So as we go through, hopefully you'll start to see the pattern. So start with the verb boire. Okay, the il plural form in the present indicative is boive. So if I were to take off that ent, all right, I would get je boive, tu boives, il boive, and il plural boive. All right, that makes sense. That follows our normal rules. The problem is, think about boire in the present indicative. In the normal, it's buvons. All right, and it's vous. So the subjunctive also changes. It becomes buvions. The vous form is buvez in the indicative, so the subjunctive is buviez. So what you're going to see is all these verbs have this change in the nu and the vous form. Like croire, it's il croit, that's the indicative, so we get je crois, tu crois, il croit. That's your subjunctive. But think about the present normal indicative of croire. It's croyons. So our subjunctive is croyons. The vous form is croyez in the indicative. So in the subjunctive, it becomes croyons. Right, and that happens with all of these verbs. Devoir, doivent. So we get doivent, doivent, and doivent. All right, but the present indicative of the new form is devons. So our subjunctive is devions. Then we've got devez. So subjunctive becomes deviez. It's kind of crazy. Prendre is probably the most difficult one. Students have a lot of trouble with this. First, they usually forget that the il plural form in the indicative is prenne. So we get je prenne, tu prennes, ils prennent. But the new form is prenons. So in the new form of the subjunctive, there's only one n. Same thing with the vous form, only one n in the subjunctive. All right, so far so good. We got three more verbs that kind of do this stem changing stuff. We're going to talk about recevoir. All right. Il plural form, present indicative, reçoivent. So you got je reçois, tu reçois, ils reçoivent, ils reçoivent. Notice we need this ideal because CO normally would be a k sound. All right. The new form, present indicative, is recevons. All right. So when we go to make the subjunctive, we need recevions. Oh, shoot. Zoot, zoot, zoot. That should be an IONS. Hold on. All better. And now we've got the VU form in the subjunctive, receviez. So you see the stem change there. All right, venir. A lot like prendre, a lot of problems. Il plural form is vienne. So je form, il faut que je vienne. Il faut que tu viennes. Il faut qu'il vienne. Il faut qu'elle vienne. All right, but think about the present indicative. It's venons, only one N. So what do you think the subjunctive is? Venions, only one N. Same thing. Veniez. And then voir does almost the same exact thing as croire. All right, so we got voir, je vois, tu vois, il voit, il voit. That's your subjunctive. All right, but the present indicative of the new form is voyons. So our subjunctive is voyez or voyons. And then voyez, tu voyez. All right, so you just really have to take your time. That's all there is to it right now. Be nice and slow. Talking about stem changing. Okay, think of all the different stem changing verbs we have. We have e to e grave, like acheter. We've got aigu to grave, like préférer. We've got y to I, like payer. We have some double consonants, like appeler, that L doubles. So basically, you're going to see that change in all forms except the nu and the vu. And that's not that crazy. We kind of start to expect that. So here's an example. Subjunctive would be il faut que j'achète, tu achètes, il achète. Nous achetions, all right, no accent because we don't see the change in the nu and the vu. Achetiez, ils achètent. All right, here are deux verbs that are très irréguliers. This should come as no surprise. Aller is crazy. We got j'aille. Il faut que tu ailles. Il faut qu'il aille. Il faut que nous allions. Il faut que vous alliez. Il faut qu'elle aille. So here you can kind of notice this boot form, right? We've got the A-I-L-L as our stem in the je, tu, il plural, and then the stem shifts to that A-L-L. And our next verb does the same thing, vouloir. Il faut que je veuille. Ugh, crazy. Tu veuilles, il veuille. But then nous voulions, vous vouliez. Those aren't so bad. And then veuille. But it gets even worse. Le plus irrégulier. The most irregular verbs we got être. Il faut que je sois, tu sois, il soit. Nous soyons, vous soyez, il soit. That's être in the subjunctive. And our last one is avoir. Il faut que j'aie, tu aies, il ait, nous ayons, vous ayez, ils aient. All right. Live, love, and learn the subjunctive. À bientôt. Au revoir.